Hi friends, welcome to another Clean with us.
Today we're taking on another hoarding project. If you haven't seen our most popular video, make sure to check it out. This has so much information. We're going to cover some of that again today, but we really got a lot of feedback on this video, and the truth is, hoarding affects a lot of people, most likely someone you know.
This actually isn't the first time we've tackled this project, specifically this room. We were actually in here earlier for our Hoarders episode because even though we are called the Tidy Two, as many of you know, Laura really struggles with hoarding-like tendencies. In this video specifically, we are going to talk a lot about hoarding and how it impacts obviously the person who is dealing with it, but also the family that surrounds. I'm working with Laura a lot to say goodbye, but you'll see in the video there's many times where confusion or frustration runs across my face just because it is hard to empathize and understand something when you are not affected by it.
This video is going to be broken up into two parts, which we haven't done before, but we know that this is going to take a while. So today we're going to talk about the psychology, like we said, behind hoarding, the emotional point, and we'll open up a little bit and kind of share a little bit about our lives as well.
In part 2, which we're going to release next week, we're going to be going through probably the hardest part of this process, which is decluttering this office, craft room, storage room combo. And we're going to, ask Laura to say goodbye to things that she's been holding on to for 10 plus years.
If you've ever watched the show Hoarders, I really, really recommend it first off, but it is going to be a lot like that, where it's going to be, oh, this little strip of paper, can you say goodbye to it? And I'm going to have to really dig down deep and figure out where I'm going to hide the paper. Okay, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm going to do. On a serious note, my therapist is on standby, and I have some motivation that's really getting me to get started on this project, and you guys will see that at the end of the video.
Because we are going to be opening up to you guys and being vulnerable, let's take a moment to introduce ourselves. I'm Lana.
I'm Laura.
And we're two identical twins who love to clean and tidy
other people's houses. It's way more fun to tackle other projects than your own.
If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. We're getting content to you weekly. Also, check out our TikTok for even greater, cleaner content.
Here's a crazy one. Would you rather deep clean a room, so dusting, windows, vents, all that, or would you rather declutter, going through boxes, old items that you have, and get rid of stuff? Leave a comment below. Part of our mission with the Tidy 2 is to help other people. So we've actually helped multiple hoarders, like we've mentioned before. These are self-acclaimed hoarders, people that admit that they have hoarding problems or hoarding tendencies. And so we've been helping them clean and organize. And you guys can see these clips here. This is a house that we've been working on for months. We've been working on their garage, and now we're tackling the dining room, and soon you'll see us work on the laundry room. This wonderful woman, she is a fabulous woman, and she has 7 children. And so part of our job is to go and work not just with her, but with the kids, help her say goodbye to things. And I feel like I'm able to do that despite not being able to say goodbye and let go of my own items. I know it's hypocritical or whatever, but it's just so much easier to maybe give the advice than to take it.
I know I've mentioned this before, but when I'm working with families, I'm coming from a home that has minimized. My 2023 was to minimize everything in my house, and I've never had hoarding tendencies like Laura. In fact, I struggle with holding on to sentimental things. I struggle with holding on to practical things. I often give away good things because I just want less. And I know that sometimes seems like, oh, that must be so nice. But, sometimes I do have to rebuy things because my family needs it after I've said goodbye.
We find it interesting because as identical twins, we grew up together. We have almost identical upbringings, and yet we're both so different. Lana has no problem letting go, and honestly, I have every problem with letting go. It's so hard to say goodbye to items. I don't want to say that I give them personalities but even
But you do, especially toys. Toys are something, stuffed animals. Yeah, those are things that you give life to quite often.
Really, it could be any item. I find, even, gift bags and little trinkets and stuff like that. And it's hard to imagine letting those go because, even if you take it to a thrift shop, are they going to keep it? Are they going to throw it away? Maybe nobody will ever want that item today. I think Toy Story messed me up, man. I think that's the truth of it.
Gift bags are actually something I want to bring up here because wrapping paper gift bags and anything related to gift wrapping, I guess, is one thing that Laura really struggles to hold on to.
Gift giving is my love language.
And it's so sweet, but it makes me think back to Dana K. White. We've mentioned this book, Decluttering at the Speed of Life, multiple times, but I'm trying this dialogue with Laura about containers. And so I will say something like, okay, let's pick out a container that all of your gift bags and wrapping paper can fit in, but once the container's full, that's it. But as kind of a deflect, because it gets hard. Laura has her defense mechanisms and her walls go up.
So once one container is full, you just buy another container, and that's the best method, right, Lana?
I'm holding it together. It just makes me think of the things that we preach to our families that we clean for. Like you can't have more than what you can maintain. We talk about, especially in the Dana K. White book, our decluttering threshold, our clutter threshold. And the truth is that if you're walking on top of items, you're not giving them the respect they deserve.
And I think it's the great TV show that you love, The Home Edit, that talks about you can have the stuff or you can have the space. And so, if you don't have room to walk, then you obviously do not have the space. And so one thing you will see in a lot of hoarders' home is a walking path. And this is like on the extreme hoarding side, and also on even just people that have a lot of clutter in their rooms. They'll have like a little pathway where they can start accessing things. And they also believe that they know where things are. So it's like, oh, I know I have those party supplies in this room. I know I have those, dry erase markers, and they're on the bed on the back left corner. And even if you have an idea of where they are, there's no way that's a practical or even sometimes safe way of living.
This actually happened to us at the end of the video. We are actually painting the room. You'll see that at the end. And Laura was convinced that she had painter's tape. And so we didn't pick any up because we're like, we'll be fine. And we got to painting day and we didn't have it. And it was okay, but then we had to go back out. And so we didn't save time and knowledge. Knowing where things are is time management. We want to be as effective and efficient as possible.
If you want to see a show that will really shock you besides Hoarders, you really have to check out this show that's on UK TV. It's called Sort Out Your Life. It is very interesting. I'm going to let Lana explain it because she's watched it more than I have.
Basically, imagine someone coming to your home and packing every single thing in your house, thumbtacks included. Everything gets into moving boxes, and they take it to a giant warehouse, and they categorize and sort everything by like items in this giant warehouse. And your goal is to go through each of the categories and declutter.
So all of a sudden they're emptying out the junk drawer, and it turns out you have 30 phone chargers, 1,000, yes, literally 1,000 pencils or pens. However many books. You have sheets that have been around since your great-great-grandma, but they don't hold sentimental value. They just kind of smell. Things like that. It is a really good show. The host is awesome. Check it out. And it's also, again, sometimes when we watch these shows just to give us a little bit of a push or motivation or inspiration to be able to tackle the projects in our own life. I remember when we were younger, it was How Clean Is Your House? Was that what the show was called? Mm-hmm. That was a really good show. And something about watching it makes you all of a sudden, you got your toothbrush and vinegar and Dawn dish soap, and you are just scrubbing every windowsill in your house. In our most popular hoarding video, someone put in the comments, and it's a good comment, they said that just because you have a lot of stuff does not mean you're a hoarder.
And that is true. Just because you collect things does not make you a hoarder.
And according to psychologists, hoarding is a subtype of OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder, which is something that I have. And yeah, it helps get rid of anxiety. It helps me feel better to have a lot of these items. Now, I'm not a compulsive shopper. I don't spend a lot of money on this stuff. I usually get it for free, or honestly, I've just had it for a decade. And that makes it even harder to say goodbye, because it's like, well, if I've had it for 10 years, then it's part of my family, it's part of my life. How can I get rid of it?
You know, we don't go into our origin story very often, but, for those of you, we've mentioned it, I think, briefly in a previous video. In our young teenage life, we lost everything we had. We left the home state of Georgia with each a small garbage bag and were sent to live in Iowa. And this was a very traumatic experience, and there's more that goes into it, but the outcome of that, we both reacted in extremely different ways. This is Lana here, I'll often envision if I had to repack my life in a garbage bag again, could I do it?
And for Laura here, I'm on the extreme opposite, where I'm like, I will never be in that situation again. I will not allow myself to be in that situation again. And I will hold on to every single item, because there were just too many important things, family photos, clothing items, things that were just so important to me then, notebooks, journals, that I'll never get back.
That was over 20 years ago, and we're in a better place. We have control for the first time in a very long time. And for me, Lana, when, hearing that I have control means I'm ready to start making more active choices in what I keep and what I don't keep in my home. And for me, raising my children to understand that it is just an item and that it's okay to not have it. In fact, it's actually oftentimes the healthier choice to not have a bunch of things in your house. So just a friendly reminder, we're not doing all of the decluttering today. There are a couple of things that we are saying goodbye to, but we're going to cover that next week in our episode. Today, the strategy we're using is called eviction. We're evicting everything from this room, and we're packing it in boxes, and we're putting it actually in the room next door. And our hope is that when it's packed up in boxes, that we can slowly, at Laura's pace, reintroduce things that need to be in here, and then either take the items, give them a home to someone else. Some things might need to get thrown away, or find a new spot in the house in which they can go.
Is there a room in your house that you think would benefit from an eviction, or probably better said, a move out clean? If you could take all the items in there and pack them in boxes and then slowly, one by one, unpack and declutter and sort. Is there a room in your house that would benefit from that? Leave us a comment. Let us know.
We're coming to the end of this video. We're excited and honestly a little bit nervous about next week's video, but we know that if the Tidy 2 can handle this emotional saying goodbye, that it can give you guys the motivation to say goodbye to things that you've been holding on to as well.
We'll play out the rest of us cleaning this room out, and we'll see you all next week.
And I'm breathless, waiting for you to save me. But it's hopeless, hoping for you to notice me. And it's only in my dreams that I get to hold you. But I'm patiently thinking that someday you'll want me to. And I've been up in my mind, I've been up in my mind for you.
Thank you so much for watching.
If you haven't done so, you guys gotta like and subscribe our videos. We love posting content, and our goal for 2024 is consistent, good quality content. So make sure you like and subscribe and keep those numbers going up.
We've been able to do a little bit of a deep dive into some of our projects on our TikTok, so make sure to check that out as well.
Our YouTube playlist is filled with tons of different videos. Decluttering and hoarding are there as well. So if you're needing motivation, check it out.
Again, thank you for watching. We just ask that if you know someone that could benefit from our videos, share it with them. That's our goal, is to help as many people as possible.
And also, we want to know, what should we clean next?